Hey there, this is Andrea with A.D.S. here to bring you the very best in marketing and branding tips, as well as business tips for those of you who are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and personal branders. Welcome and thanks so much for being here. So excited to have you today because this is a topic that I run across so many times with our personal brander crowd in particular, but also our small businesses and big businesses alike. A lot of them struggle with this one piece, which is a media kit. What goes in it? What is the purpose of it? All that good stuff, And so this is my quick rundown of the high level, here's what you need. And also stick around because I'm going to give you a resource that has all the most fun examples, some of the best examples I've seen of good, solid media kits. So, you ready? Let's go. Speaker kits, media kits, press kits, all these things, the ultimate purpose of this is one thing only, and that is to make it easy for the media or whomever it is, it could be a speaker organization, whatever. You're making it easy for that individual, that company to see the best of what you have to offer in terms of a company, a speaker, an individual to be interviewed, the best of you is what we're highlighting in a press kit, a media kit, speaker kit, all those good things. So I'm more so at this moment going to be speaking to the individuals. So you personal branders and speakers, you tend to need this the most. And then just know smaller to medium-sized big businesses and otherwise, a lot of these elements apply to you as well, but I'm specifically wanting to talk to our individuals today. So if you are a speaker, you're seeking to be a speaker, or you often get called to lead workshops or you're often asked to be on panels, to be a moderator, facilitator, whatever it is that you're doing, you are ultimately going to need a nice little press kit together. Media kit, again, I'm using all these terms interchangeably, but some kind of kit together. And what it does is it puts everything in one place for someone in the media, someone in the press, or for an organization, an event organizer to be able to access about you. So I'm going to run down some of the most popular things that need to be in that packet and also some other things that you need to consider as well. So first of all, where does this stuff go? We're talking about putting it all in one place. Well, it can go on a simple landing page of your website. So there can be a tab on your website for your media kit, press kit, speaker kit, whatever you want to call that kit. Have a tab on your website for that, and this can be where people can access this information about you. So when we do this for clients, we are creating a whole nother tab on their site for this. You can also create a simple landing page. So one of the tools I love the best for that is Lead Pages. I'll give you a link to Lead Pages below, but it's a very, very simple tool that you can use to create a simple landing page. And so whenever anybody says, I need your media kit, you can just send them to your landing page and be done with it. And they have everything they need. So simple landing page. If you had to, it could be a little Dropbox account file or something like that, but it's better to take them to a landing page or a tab on your website. That's easier. What needs to go in there? First of all, your headshot. You need all your best photography for people to choose from. Give them a couple of options. So you need your standard headshots in there, but you may also want to include some good lifestyle photography if you've got it, some of the best shots from your photo shoot. This doesn't have to be a bucket trove of photography, but you want to give people a couple of options depending on what their art needs are, for their upcoming event or for your interview on air or whatever it is that you're doing. Give them a couple of options to choose from. So have your headshot kind of folder together where people can download your imagery. You also want to have all your social media links together. So how can people tag you, find you online, check out your audiences? This is especially important if you're using your kit as an influencer. This is the place where you want to show off your audience size, because people want to know if you're an influencer, and even if you're a speaker, author, they want to know how big your audience currently is. So you want them to be able to easily access your social media. And you may even just want to spell it out for them in terms of what your collective audience size is between Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you are, even your email audience size. Those could be potentially valuable things to the right audience members. So those are things you can pull together, some stats you can pull together. Influencer packets are a little bit different, so there's some other stats you may want to include about your engagement, your typical reach, and all those good things. But for your regular press media kit, that kind of thing, largely audience size will work. So links to your social media, you want your bio, headshot, you also want audience size numbers included. Any other press. So if you've been in the media at all already, any kind of news, local news, if you've been on some important blogs, some newspaper site, anything like that, anywhere where you've gotten some shine already, you want to be able to make that easily accessible to your people. This does a couple of things because it also lends itself to your credibility factor. So someone can look at you who's not met you before and say, oh, well, she's been in Forbes and Business Insider and such. That already separates you from the pack if you have that experience. So you definitely want to include any press you've been involved in already in your packet. Video links. So you also want to consider including any video links of any interviews you've been on that would be relevant, helpful, impressive. Definitely include those. Podcast interviews can be in there as well, but video links are super important because they help sell you as an individual. And same thing for organizations, they can help sell you as an organization, but speaking specifically to the individuals, having a good video link is super helpful, and having a couple of them are great because it gives a flavor of your personality. If you're speaking, it helps people understand your speaking style, how you behave, your mannerisms, your attire, all that good stuff. And so people can tell immediately like what kind of speaker you are and your flavor style you bring to the stage. So videos are very, very helpful for that. Definitely include some good solid video links that this does not have to be every video you have of yourself in the world, okay? This has to be the stuff that showcases you well. So if it does not showcase you well, do not bother including it, please. But if it does highlight you well, definitely include those videos. And they can even be embedded videos, ideally, so it's very clear that there are videos for people to view and they can easily click on them and watch you. And I briefly mentioned podcast links, but any podcast interviews you've been on, especially ones that are like overseas or fairly notable, you definitely want to notate your podcast interviews as well. You can also include a snippet of your story. So something about you. This would be like a mini version of your bio or a mini version of your why, why you're here and what you are here for. So, your story is a nice blip that can help people understand very quickly what you're here for and what they would be utilizing you for their event or for their interview. Another great thing to think about for a press kit or some kind of kit is quotes. So quotables, things that you've said or quotes that they can easily pick up and use, especially if it's around your speaking topics. And that leads me to my next point. Speaking topics are super helpful. If you're in the speaker circuit, you absolutely need to spell out the topic areas that you have an expertise in that people can call on you for. So the things, especially that you already have canned presentations for, you can do it in a moment's notice. Absolutely, these need to be listed here. This does not need to be a laundry list of 1,000 different topics. This should be just a short bullet list, 3 to 5 things that are key areas that you can speak on. And so you want to spell that out for people, and you can even detail it out to the point where it's got its title, it's got its description, it's got some 3 bullet points of what your audience will learn. That kind of thing. It should be in there, especially, this is really for the people who are speakers. And then for the people who are subject matter experts for interviews, which this can be a crossover. So those of you who are speakers are likely often subject matter experts and thought leaders as well. So for those people, you also want to include your expertise areas, what people can call on you for. And this is another great place to reference back to interviews you've been on where you've already been taken on as an expert in these areas, and people can reference those. You also may want to consider including an imagery area for logos, things that are related to your business, logo imagery, anything like that that you feel would be helpful that people often ask for, that can be included in another imagery kind of bucket or folder, downloadables that people can reference. If your name is not easily pronounceable or people often get it wrong, you may also want to include in your media kit how to phonetically pronounce your name. So literally spell out how people should pronounce your name, and it should be done in a way so that anybody can read it and immediately understand how to correctly pronounce your name. So if you have a problem or people often mess up your name, a press media kit is a great place to clear that up so that by the time you get to an interview, by the time you get on stage, people are pronouncing your name as they should. Same thing goes for your business. If people often mispronounce that, clear that up in this kit. Also include any awards, recognition you've gotten, all these accolades and things that people may find noteworthy and may want to mention about you. This is the impressive area. This whole kit is all the impressive stuff about you. So don't be afraid of it looking like bragging. One of my older sorority sisters says, if you've done it, it's not bragging. So do not shy away. This is the area where you are to shine. So if you have awards and recognition, list those here in the kit as well. You can also include some testimonials. So it can be customer reviews, it can be commentary from people who've hired you before to speak at a conference or an event. It can be anything like that. So if there are any reviews or things like that, testimonials that you can include, you may want to have a little section about that people can check out and draw upon. And that's always helpful, to help people decide, is this the person we want to interview or to have speak at our event? You also may want to include a FAQ section. So if there are some frequently asked questions that reporters or others often have about you, this is the area to clear that up. So make it easy. Again, this is all about making it easy for the press or the people who hire you for an event to make it very, very clear about what your value proposition is for them and what they can get out of having you speak or be on air. And finally, this seems so simple and you would think this is a no-brainer, but it has to be said, also include some bios. You need a little bio area, and so you should have a couple of different lengths of bios, and you may have different bios for different purposes. So it depends on what your focus areas are. But at a minimum, you should have a small paragraph bio that's like 2 to 3 sentences that people can grab. You should also have a more medium one and a longer full-on format that is about a good solid page. Probably don't want to go over a page. So, start with small 2 to 3 sentences, go for a nice medium hefty paragraph, and then a full pager would be great. And those are some bio options that you can include. All of this, there is no one set way that you have to do a press kit, media kit. I'm just giving you some options of some things to think about. And finally, if you want to be super clear about what you need, what you may want to consider, and this is especially good for those of you who are speakers, consider the events that you have spoken at or would love to speak at, and then go hunt down the speaker info that they are requesting. And so looking up that information can really help you figure out what missing pieces, gaps you may have to fill in your kit that you are creating. So make sure you take a look at those different sites and events and figure out what it is that you are missing currently in your kit that you might need to add in. But again, this is all up to you. And the point of all this is to make it very succinct. We are not trying to throw the entire kitchen sink at people for no reason. We're trying to make this easy and accessible for our media people and our event organizers to learn about us and what's the best way they can use us in their interviews or their events. So I hope this was helpful. I'm going to include below a link to a resource where you can check out examples of press kits, media kits, speaker kits that I think are great and that you can draw inspiration from. So look out for those below. That will be in a link below, and I'll also put it in the first little pinned comment below, so scroll down and look for that. Otherwise, I hope this was helpful for you. Please do like and subscribe to this channel. If you've not done that before, the link is below to subscribe. And also be sure to follow us. We are at the A.D.S agency. That's THEADS, like ads, like advertising, agency. The A.D.S agency on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, now TikTok. So you can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, all those places where you get your podcasts. You can find our podcast there. And otherwise, I am going to finally implore to you one more time about my baby that's coming up. The event, the Entrepreneurial Mini Conference of the Year is coming up Saturday, October 10th. That is 10 October 2020. That is coming up, and you do not want to miss this. We have an amazing lineup of speakers, which includes Shelly Archambault from Silicon Valley in San Francisco. She is going to bring a phenomenal message about being unapologetically ambitious. Okay, and if you're a VIP attendee, you automatically get a signed copy of her book. So you want to be on VIP status. You also get a fireside chat with Shelly, which is absolutely awesome. And we have a new keynote speaker I'm so happy to reveal to you here. You're the first people to hear about it. He is going to be our opening session keynote speaker, and his name's Dennis Ross. He's an award-winning ghostwriter. He's absolutely phenomenal. He used to write and tour with Boys to Men, which is so cool. And now he writes award-winning books for people all over the world. And so he knows a thing or two about branding and about positioning and telling a story well, which is everything every personal brander and business alike needs to know about. So he's in the opening session in the morning, and then you'll catch Shelly at noonday. And maybe we might have a surprise at the end of the day to tell you about soon. So do not miss this. And also, I'm so excited to tell you about a DJ we have coming on board. So he's my friend Homer. You can find him at HDezzy, DEZZY.com, HDezzy.com. And he is super fun, a super fun DJ you will absolutely enjoy. So we can't wait to have him and be a part of the event too. We are welcoming on Connecticut on board, New Jersey, Virginia, California, Texas, even Hawaii and Alaska have committed. And then we also have one of our speakers over in South Africa. We're trying to get London to come, so whoever you can get to come to Brand Tech Day, we're trying to fill up this map or all the attendees of Brand Tech Day. So help us do that. Go to brandtechday.com for your tickets. Check out the event. It is an event to bring together branding and technology for our entrepreneurs and personal branders. Thanks again for coming. I look forward to you coming to Brand Tech Day, and I also look forward to you connecting with us on social media, the A.D.S agency. Don't forget to subscribe. Cheers. Chat with you later. See you soon, cuties. Mwah.